Alrighty, everyone. I'm just going to give you a quick kind of introduction and an overview of Project O2. So here we are in Canvas. Always just read through this project description before you start a project, just to get, familiar with all the requirements and whatnot that you'll need to be doing. So it starts here with all the things that you will need to include. These projects are going to get more complicated. So this one's worth 200 points as opposed to that Project 01 was 250. And also my grading, the way I grade, I'm going to expect you guys to know the basics of, how to create basic shapes in Illustrator, how to save things correctly, make sure all your pages are labeled and stuff like that. I'm not really going to be as lenient as every project goes on. So make sure you're paying close attention to requirements and details and things like that. So you're going to do 15 thumbnail sketches. So the point of this project is to get you used to our creative process. So going from a rough thumbnail sketch to final digital art in Adobe Illustrator. So thumbnail sketch in your sketchbook to final art in Adobe Illustrator, okay? So you're going to come up with 15 thumbnail sketches. And this week, our drawing challenge is going to be to submit those sketches, and I will then give you a critique and help you to select which two are the best. So we'll be choosing two that have a clear focal point, that make good use of leading lines, good value contrast, and all the things we've been discussing so far, the rule of thirds or symmetrical composition. So you choose those two, and you are going to take them into Illustrator, and you're literally going to trace over the sketch you've made. And it goes from a rough, sketchy drawing into a clean, finished piece of digital art. So you're going to need to do two of those, two pieces of final art, and then a short reflection essay. So every project will have a reflective essay. That's because artists need to be able to write about their art as well as create their art. Okay, pretty simple. So in this essay, I want to see you guys using vocabulary and talking about your creative process. So using vocabulary like value, using vocabulary like the rule of thirds, leading lines, whatnot, line quality, different sorts of lines you used. Okay. So all the instructions are here. You're first going to draw your thumbnails. After you submit them to a critique, then you're going to create digital art by tracing over those. So be following along with the YouTube tutorials where it shows you how to do this, how to use a template layer to create this final art. And it will all be submitted as a PDF file using a template file, which is Project O2 template. This is a template file that everyone can use. I'll just download it really quick, see if we can get what it looks like. So yeah, it looks like this. So it has an artboard for all your stuff, thumbnails, final art, and reflection. Okay, so the Illustrator videos go more into detail of how to use this, but that will give you an idea. So, thumbnail. So here's my version of the project. Okay, so one page for thumbnails. They may fit on one page. You may need 2 pages for this. These ones were sketched digitally in Procreate. I know some people are doing that. These ones were sketched in pencil in my sketchbook. So you have an option of going abstract or representational for this project. I would suggest trying a little bit of both. Okay, then you have a nice page of one piece of final art, clear focal point, light value against dark value to make it stand out, leading lines, interesting shape. Both of these are abstract shape, focal point, leading lines, shapes leading in there. Okay, and then the reflection. This is just gibberish by me, but yours will be nicely written, detailing your creative process. All right, so that's pretty much it. I have a few student examples here. I'm pretty sure these were all A's. So here's Andre's from last quarter. Rough, sketchy thumbnails, but all of these have a focal point. So focal point, focal point. Most of these have a focal point. Focal point. He has some abstract, some representational. Then you can see the final art here. So he's using, focal point there. We get different sorts of line quality. We get dark value for the focal point and values for the rest of it. Here's the other one. Nice, clean focal point for the train. Leading lines with the clouds kind of lead down there. Good repetition of shapes. There is the written reflection. So in this final art, I think I have here requirements for how many shapes and what type of shapes. Okay, so you need at least 15 shapes. So you're not going to have a final art with just 2 shapes sitting there, at least. 3 different types of lines, at least. 1 shape of pure black and 1 shape of pure white. And that pure black should probably be your focal point if it's a light composition. If it's a dark composition, then that pure white shape can be your focal point. So this is the minimum. Okay, so if I see you just do these, yeah, that you could get you, a good B. But if you want to go above and beyond and really earn that A, doing more than this will be recommended. That was Andre's. Let's see a couple other student examples here. This is Kayla Hall's. So here's her rough, sketchy. Again, these were drawn digitally in Procreate, I believe. There is the final art. Good clear focal point, leading lines, light or dark against light value contrast. Same here. Dark against light for the value contrast. Okay, but it's all organized nicely. Make sure each one of these titles has your name on it and what I'm looking at. So label with final art or thumbnails. Let's look at Morgan's really quick. So you can see her pencil drawings here. Rough, sketchy thumbnails. Final art, focal point, abstract. I think this one's good here, but this piece is really strong here. Don't use that star shape. See how she designed her stars? This is much nicer than using that. I know Illustrator has a star shape in there. Don't use that star shape, okay? It's really just kind of a stock shape and doesn't add a lot to your artwork. And there's the reflection. Okay, so these are all A projects that I'm showing you. So they were all really well done to go from that rough sketch, thumbnail, final art with a focal point, clear focal point. You can see both these are representational. All she's missing here, she needs this is Pages, a frame around this artwork. So make sure you put a frame around your final artwork. And there's the reflection. All right, so email me with any questions you have about this, but all of the information should be in here on Canvas. And then those demo videos on our Illustrator tutorial playlist will also help you complete this project.